Everybody, I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga, streaming to you from IMC Base 1, no longer in 408 area code, now in whatever area code it is here. I don't know what area code it is actually, because I don't have a landline. I still have a Florida area code, but we're in Las Vegas. IMC Base 1 has moved here, and as always, these podcasts are updates on the lifestyle here. As we're at episode like 350 something. I've been doing this for 5-6 years podcasting. So on all the platforms. So if you catch this recording, leave us a review. And I want to tell you about a new arrangement that we've created. We have this mastermind going. It used to be the mastermind was so much online. This is a mastermind with AZD, my teacher, who I live with, who's my friend, I game with, I business with, everything. We fight together. And the mastermind, I found him through YouTube, right? And years later, I brought everybody together for advanced trainings with him, boot camps or whatever. He asked me to do that. The boot camps became not just a weekend, they bled into the whole month where there would be lectures throughout the month, advanced lectures, not just mastermind lectures, which are everybody gets together, asks questions, and there's answers, and there's a lot of evolution that happens in that. But then there were these advanced lectures that I would bring people together. And then throughout the month, he would lecture to them, and we would have gatherings, which were called boot camps in San Jose. We did that for many years. So 40, 50, 60 camps like that. Then at some point, the morning class, which was just a more basic lecture. It was like beginner lecture, advanced lecture. They were lectures. It became more of a mastermind. As guys got better and better, the questions were more advanced. The dialogue was more rich with circumstances, guys that are married, guys with multiple relationships, guys with kids, guys with the girl is getting pregnant and threatening to do this or that. And like so many situations. Then of course it bleeds into business and relationships with other people, especially your parents and other family members. And that was all part of what everybody was coming to IMC for, which was the women, the game, the picking up women. That's something guys don't even want to admit that that's what they want to do. But where are you going to learn from? How are you going to learn? Are you just destined to, do whatever your dad did or whatever he taught you or whatever you learned from school or media or whatever? Nah, you learn shortcuts along the way if you read any books or watch any videos. And eventually you find people that are better than everybody else. And then you find people that are better than them, that they're the best. And it's like, whoa, dude. And if you're intelligent enough to see it and you look deep enough, then it starts to make sense to you. And this is the best, where as you zoom in, it kept getting better and better. We started moving in together in what's called the bases. And a few years later, now we've relocated the bases to Las Vegas. So they were scattered in 4 or 5 different cities. Now two bases still have to move here. So they're still in their cities. They got to break their leases. But 5 bases are now established in Las Vegas, all in the same area code, zip code, whatever, like very close to each other, but still distant from each other. So it's not like next door. And over 25 guys are living together in these 5 bases currently, and 2 more bases on the way. So it's going to be 35 guys basic just at the beginning when we finally get fully established here, which is just a few months after we decided to move to Vegas. Now we have this offering. So here, that was all the build up to get to this offering, because we used to have these boot camps that were like 3-day immersions, 2 or 3 day immersions. Then there were lectures in between those 2 or 3 day immersions that would give you the reality on how to get the most out of the gathering, that you needed the information in between the boot camps to be able to keep up with what was happening at the boot camp. Not to mention that San Jose isn't known for its nightlife and game. The fact that the greatest relationship expert on earth for men lived in San Jose was ironic, and then it also kind of makes sense. It would be like the strongest person is, or the toughest person is from where it's the least comfortable. The toughest person would probably be where living is harshest. You know what I mean? And so the greatest player of the game, which is ultimately get to have relationships, or otherwise you're just like dissipating your life in short-term flings or whatever. If you're just dissipating your life, then I don't know, you're going to die one day. You can indulge in the senses. Might as well do drugs, Might as well just lose yourself to drugs, because it's short-term pleasure, right? It's short-sighted. So it makes sense that the best player at that would be where it's most difficult. San Jose is not known for women. I mean, to get more difficult than that, you'd have to go to rural America where there's just nobody. But as far as city life, I don't know a city in United States of America that would be more difficult to gain the most beautiful women than San Jose. just thinking in my brain, like where else would I be thinking? Every city, I think, would be better. Yeah. Because every city's going to have a better, except maybe like Detroit or something, some like really violent city. So we've relocated to Las Vegas, which is really, I'll tell you, I've visited Vegas probably a dozen or more times, maybe a dozen and a half times over the years since I was 21. And I always knew it wasn't what they said it was. But even now, moving here for a month and a half, I can say that it's definitely, there's a lot of stipulations about Vegas. There's a lot of connotations when you hear about living in Las Vegas that you would think that they're hanging the TV behind it. So of course, if I can bear with it, that's just what's happening. And those stereotypes they have part truth, of course, Sin City and dishonest and, you know, it's shady, it's taboo, it's unethical, this and that. But the people that live here and, you know, that's not necessarily true. Now, we are anomalies. IMC Nation men and our tribe, we're anomalies in the world, world at large. So living in Vegas is not going to be like anywhere else. And the way that we do our social life, for example, there's so much happening here, even though it's not a big city, it's like 500,000 people city, but the tourism makes it always happening. And 6 nights a week, we go out for about 5 hours. And it's a lot of engagement with the world and with each other because we don't just sit like wallflowers. So we already had an offering. We were doing multiple gatherings, but the thing is that every day is like a boot camp here. 5 hours in field, plus all the commuting back and forth, plus 1 or 2 meetings or lectures or mastermind meetings every day. You're tapped in, plus 25 guys already living here. We haven't even opened our fight center. When we open our fight center, it's going to be just next level immersion. More opportunity to develop your character and learn the skills that make you as a man, not just dangerous physically, but dangerous verbally, dangerous socially. You know how it is. When you know how things go, you can become dangerous. If you don't know how things go, if you're ignorant, unaware, you can't be a danger to anything. Not in a survival way. You could be a danger as like a chaos, like a baby could be dangerous. You could still hold a gun and shoot you. Baby could stab you or whatever. But you're not dangerous like a man who knows how to use a knife or a gun. Versus the undanger of a person that doesn't know how to use a gun at all. And they fumble it. And they're just as dangerous as a baby. So now there's this, we've always done this program called Residency, where guys can live at an IMC base, but really IMC base 1 was always the most desirable. But it was such a rare offering because it's expensive. And we typically would only sell it for a week or more because it's too disturbing and too much chaos for just 1 night or 2 nights, or so we thought. Because the lifestyle is very disciplined and very social. That's a very difficult thing to do. Discipline is not as difficult if you're just solo or you're just doing physical training, or, you know, like solo would be like doing desk work or switching tasks or going from physical tasks to desk tasks to back and forth. Like if you're just by yourself, discipline, but you'll find it's, you know, there's a similarity. It's just when you're doing your own thing and you have discipline, self-discipline, you'll give yourself cushion here or there because you have a final product output that has nothing to do with human interaction and social dynamics. It's whatever product you're outputting, like a service or something. And so you could jockey your schedule, but when you're in a coordination with a pack socially, the discipline in your schedule and the discipline in your state of mind, which are the factors of discipline I'm talking about. There's the external discipline of your movements, how you eat, your schedule, and there's the internal discipline of your state of mind, of how you're communicating, self-control, respect. And you need both, and they relate to each other. They can anyway. You can have them separate. There's very socially calibrated people that don't have any discipline in life, and very disciplined people in life, think military, that have no discipline socially because they're unaware. And so they lack discipline if you're ignorant. So we have that blend and we optimize for both. And so that can be very difficult for a guy who comes to stays residency, because it's just guys that come to stay residency. And to be disciplined to extrovert, to communicate, to express yourself, but then be able to lock down, to separate yourself, to process the day, to sleep well, to eat well, stay in it with all the distractions and everything. And that's how IMC Nation thrives in Las Vegas, which is what we're doing. So residency is now the idea of a weekend boot camp is now very individualized. For one or two, up to 2 guys can stay at a time here. But the great thing is we have 5 bases. The other bases are dope. Base 4 and base 7, we have odd numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. Base 5 and 6 still have to move here, so that's just the number. But base 4 and 7 focus on pickup. You can stay residency with them, same price to come and live for a day or 2. We recommend the weekend. Come from Friday to Sunday. Guys, especially that have trouble taking off of work for a week, because if money's a problem, the money's going to be a problem, whether you do 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, a month. But guys who have, like, let's say Dylan is going to come and stay 3 or 4 weeks. That's because he's summer break from school. He's 21. He wants to stay a month. He can stay a month. The price is 4 times what it would be a week or whatever, with a little discount. You could come stay a weekend, just Friday to Sunday, which is most guys' work schedule. You finish work, you can fly to Vegas real fast, be out with us right away, be on our schedule, stay the night. Saturday, you're at lectures, you're doing the meetings, you're sleeping, you're meditating, you're going to work out, eating well, talking with us, upgrading your fashion, your communication. Go out at night for another 5 hours. Sleep, next day debrief the whole weekend, Sunday fly home, get your rest, go back to work Monday. You don't have to miss any time. That's the weekend residency. 2 people can stay at base 1. After that, if that's booked out, you could choose, or you could just choose to stay at base 4, base 7, do pickup. Base 3, they have more of a content creation lifestyle. They have OnlyFans, they have all kinds of clip making for generating social media accounts for the guys program inside of things. Some guys are interested in that. We have base 2, which is the player's life. They got the pool, they got the pool table, throwing house parties. Base 1 is AZD's process. That's the top player. We live the player's lifestyle, but we're not throwing like house parties like players. We don't have a pool. We just live a good life. We live like monks still. Everybody does, but we epitomize the monk lifestyle as a player. Okay. So this is the weekend offering, the weekend residency. Come and live at one of our IMC bases, everybody. Bases in Vegas. Base 1, which is with AZD, myself, Fernando Sultan. Base 2 with the lawyer, the Wolf of IMC Nation, as the base leader. And then you have Magic Man, Chop It Up, which is Palacio, and Benny. And then we also have DJ Side Effects living there. Then we have base 3, which has Kingpin, Powerhouse, which are the pillars of IMC Nation. And then you also have the agents, Zay, Anbu, Aroma, and soon-to-be agent Octavio. Those are the content creators. Base 4 pickup has Eros, the god of love, IMC pickup coach and lieutenant, as the base leader. And then the guys that are living there, Adrian, which is Stallone, Obed, which is what's his name, Kong. We have Stallone, Eros, Stallone, Hong, and Tyler Powell, who creates the clips for these TikTok accounts and Instagram accounts and YouTube accounts. So shout out Tyler Powell from Canada. Even Canada can do residency for 4 months or 3 or 4 months at base 4. He's doing it. And then base 5 and 6, that's in Phoenix and Los Angeles. They still need to relocate to Vegas. And then base 7, Vegas, which has Prince, Rick Lamoy, and Cygnus, who's an agent also. Okay, so those are the bases in Vegas, the guys that live there, and that's what's happening. Come and stay residency. Okay, short podcast, Enlightened Masculinity. Thank you everybody for attending, and I will see you on the next one. Os, Jay Gurudev.